All right, folks, let's get it for Thursday. What's going on, everybody in the chat? Welcome back to a fun-filled session. Anybody running to the bank today? Withdraw your money? I'm not yet. Let's see where we go. Really quick, let's get right to it. So we're talking big stuff right now on SPY, QQQ. I've been in the Discord this morning talking about a couple of setups, and that's a big one right here. Look, the SPY on the hourly back down at the hop level, a shark, a bat. I mean, there's like 3 or 4 patterns there, all around 404. You're right there right now. So let's see. What's going on, chat? Let's give away a gold membership to Mr. Rogelio. What's up, Rogelio? You win gold. And then the first person to type in a V3, we'll give away a book. Please, if you won't already, don't type in, but let's give away one V3 to kick off our Thursday giveaway sessions. Big chat. Shout out to the chat. What's up, Dustin, Mr. Kennedy, Edward, Masterson Trust, Rogelio. I'm going to pronounce that properly, a little Portuguese flair. Ghazi, Evan, Muhammad, LC, Miss Stephanie, what's up? Mark, Jacob, LC is asking, take a look at STRIM on the stream, how Bitcoin 30-minute played out. Perfect type 1, type 2. Would love to hear your thoughts on the 1-2. Yeah, the 1-2, the type 1, type 2 is our framework. That's what we're looking at right here. I mean, even though this is a super huge kind of looping type 2, there's a type 2 right there. Why not jump? Let's start with crypto today. We know markets are down. I'm looking for opportunity. But here's Bitcoin. What'd you say, the 30-minute? 30-minute time frame. Binance, yeah, type 1. Actually, you have a couple of back-to-backs here. Let me clean up the chart, but this should not be a strange phenomenon to anybody that's in here. Reaction reversal concepts. I mean, here's it's kind of difficult with all these patterns on top of it, but for your bullish perfect type 1, 28,000 to 28.8, and then back down to XA level with confirmation there. There's the 2. Type 2, 28.3 to 29.2. Over and over again, that's what we do. That's, hey, if you're not aware of the type 1, type 2 framework, go over to harmonictrader.com, register now, become a basic member, and all of that information is on the basic members page. So if you don't know what we're talking about with anything, type 1, type 2, HSI, confirmation strategies, RSI BAM, it's all there. But start by getting the software, the TradingView program, because that is ubiquitous for just about everybody. It's everywhere, right? TradingView, everyone's got it. Everyone's using it. Send that TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com, and we'll set you up with a free 2-week trial. Everyone else, I've heard a lot of people talking about the MetaTrader platform, a lot of people using that for crypto as well as TradingView. And then the others are good. NinjaTrader has a good crypto feed as well. Check those. That's all available for free to check those out. Please review all the information first. Of course, the books, and then stuff like the type 1, type 2. Check out the cheat sheets, you know. Here's a great one with the harmonic pattern cheat sheet. This is number 5, but check that out, okay? That's not what I want. There's the patterns. Where's the type 1, type 2? I think it's on here. There you go. That's it. Check that out. All of that information. And of course, get on the Discord. That's where we are. And I'm hanging out in the gold members thread here most mornings. I'm getting back to it. I get some big news today. So send me good thoughts, everybody. I need good thoughts. Good thoughts on the shoulder. I'll know if it's going to be a 2-week, 4-week thing or a 2-month thing probably later today. We'll see. Anyway, welcome back. We're here, like I said, Tuesday and Thursday at 12 noon Eastern. And we give away gold memberships and books on Thursday. So if you want to get a book, just hang out. We'll give away one more. Who won that V3? Did anyone post the V3? I'm sorry, I just kept rambling. Who was the first one? William Melendez, you win, my friend. Please contact Miss Stephanie on the Discord. That's where you need to go. It all starts on the basic members page. And where did it go? Hold on. I'll come back to that in a second. I'll pop that Discord up in a second. A lot going on, obviously. Looks like we're in the midst of another financial crisis. Lovely. How do you guys like that? Especially you know, I know a lot of people, incredibly, a lot of people were not around on this in 2008. And let me tell you something, 2008 was unthinkable. And we thought it would never happen again. Well, guess what? They won it. They're going to try to bring us another financial crisis. That's what we love. Listen, here's something I was talking about as well in the Discord. I'm looking at QQQ as well. Folks, this is a type 2 with an alternate bat. So you got a couple bullish things here setting up. And I was in the Discord earlier this morning. Some of the guys that are around can attest to this setup we called right at 315.62. up to 317.15. I hit those with some Friday call options, just a scalp trade. But that was it. Now we have the type 2. Why? Because we look for reaction, come back, retest, reversal. Do we have anything here? Not quite yet. Looking for some kind of HSI midday dot. Would love to see it. What's the hourly look like? Oh, I know what's going on down here. Yeah, we had this from a couple of days ago, that crab pattern up there at 322.63. And we're down at a type 1. It's still a type 1. So I'm not too concerned, actually. I know there's a lot of noise going on. I'm looking for a long position for this thing to bounce back today. Keep an eye on it. 316s. I like the Q 316s. What else do we got? Those are the Qs. The SPY on the 5. Excuse me, the 5 minute there. There's your hourly, and we know what's going. Oh, we're trying to get a dot. Again, 404 is such a big number. Forget yesterday and today, please. You want to see real fireworks, a real problem? It's under this hourly pattern. And so we're not there yet. If anything, I think that's an opportunity and a half. Let's see. Probably a little early, but it's in there. And we have to get the perspective of your daily chart for SPY and the banks and all of this. We clean it up. You know, we're dealing with a couple of patterns here. Basically, we're hitting the 886. And it's been a real chop. That's the kind of the takeaway subject matter for today is that, look, as crazy as it seems, there's not a heck of a lot going on just yet. It's just a lot of chop up one day, down the next. And we hit the 886 across the board. Swing 886 from last year. All right. And note, we're checking back that daily signal. I thought we would run a little bit higher. Back up into the zone. It wants to check back. So we're here. 404.72. What's the low? Sorry, 406.74 is the exact low of that bar. We're checking it back today. And maybe we get a dot by Monday. You're going to be 2 more days of dancing around with this. So let's keep an eye on that. It is a counter trend HSI signal. I thought we could push higher now, but we didn't. And again, it's just not. We're not in a trending situation, and you're printing an hourly pattern of type 2. I would have to look at that on the long side as an opportunity now. Just by definition. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what we're dealing with. And the banks, the narrative, pretty ugly, but we'll get into those patterns in a second. But I'm not throwing in any towel yet. Not throwing in any towel. I think we got to go to the weekly. We'll see how we finish up. Here's your weekly. Nice bearish engulfing. Start the week. Well, not yet. You have to get. Look, we close the week under 403. Then we'll talk next week. I'm just not there yet. There's just too many of these single bar, single week phenomenon as we continue to chop. And the only proposition you really need to question is the trend line. So you tell me, okay, is that trend line broken? Are we rolling over? Because it is squeezed like that and continues to be so. You can be up and down. Listen, for a while, I mean months, I said this retest here to break out and would knock on the door many times 4, 5 times, 6 times, maybe 8 times. This was not going to be an easy break. Almost had it last week. And that would have set you off with a close above 417, 420, which is really what you were looking for. But not a problem. Still takes more time, and I think it creates opportunity. Here we go. We're recovering already. We're bouncing on that 5 minute. We're bouncing on the Qs. What are those 3-0? Was it the 3? Sorry. Shit, they're already up. The 316s. They just jumped 20 cents as I was talking. They were bidding asking 116 just a little while ago, now 136. Again, just a day trade. But that's what I outlined this morning. And on the Qs. Sorry, not the SPY. The Qs look like this. There you go. And that's what I traced out. Listen, this is bang, down. There we go. Oh, man. Is this going to get away from me? What about the 30-second time frame really quick? Anything down here? Little patterns, some bearish patterns. Note the bearish patterns right up at target 1. Not much yet. I mean, I like that. There's the 1 minute. Ooh, the 1 minute's probably even better. I'll come back to this. Let's jump to crypto first. Let's really dive into crypto. I mean, what the heck is going on? What's Bitcoin doing? Ethereum, whatever happened to the massive breakout? Well, we never said a massive breakout. We have been looking for reaction pullback, and I guess it was last week. We were saying, imagine if we're here next Thursday with a yellow dot, and that's where we are. And just holding up there. Again, this is a slow build, but your yellow dot came in, I guess that was a Friday last week. Wednesday of last week, we got the yellow dot. And no moon, no fireworks, but I don't want to see fireworks. I just want to see this hold up here. And also, listen, go into the 30-day 30-bar count. You can go from HSI or even the yellow bar. I would say from HSI because it really, we're looking for things to happen immediately after we get that signal. And 30 bars puts us into May, end of May. So you get 3 more weeks. Looking pretty good. I don't need it to moon. I really don't need Bitcoin to moon. I just need it to do stuff like that and continue and continue. It looks like it's building what a lot of people would look at, which is, hey, it's another wedge. And that's what everyone else, no one's looking at harmonic pattern. I mean, we're looking at harmonic patterns, but no one else is really looking at diving into harmonic patterns the way we are. Crazy. Look at that QQQ popping. Those 316s now trading 150. Not bad. So keep your eye on that. I'm not concerned about Bitcoin unless it got under 26,700. So keep that in mind. And you want this to do nothing. You want it to stay at this high level and just continue to float higher. And nothing changes on our outlook. Again, there we go. Let's get better patterns across the board here. 37.2 is the number, folks. There we go. Big crab pattern. 37.214. That's where I'm not backing away from that target. We might grind for a while. We might take 3-6 more months, but the fact that we're out of the zone and we're riding this kind of steady uptrend, and not to mention, this is going to end up being a high level continuation confirmation. And we said that 2 weeks ago, last week, and I'm saying it now. It's still a high level confirmation where maybe you retest that area, but you don't, not much. You don't take it back. And again, 26.7, 27,000 clear on support going forward. Keep an eye on that. And if you really wanted to track it, keep an eye on the daily. Like I said, even since the last double trigger and why that was so critical of this just being a reaction, which is what we said it would be. That little pullback was just a daily reaction, letting a lot of air out of the tires. Now what we want to see is HSI and everything to turn up this weekend. And again, continue the progression. Same deal on amplified. Hold above that 50 and keep going. That's the idea. In terms of longer term development, that's what you want to see. The weekly time frame, look, the consideration on your long term, weekly, monthly bars going forward is simply don't violate the lows. Don't violate last week's low, the prior 3-bar low. It's not difficult to glean that from the charts, but we want to see this thing happen. A continuation of higher lows. Maybe not every week is up, maybe not every week pushes higher, but I want not only the lows, but the closes of every week to be holding lows. So you could have a dip down like that, or even a dip down like we saw yesterday, 2 days ago. That's it. That's all you should get is like a back test, a retest of the prior week low, and then you go. Just, do that in a grind. You don't want to go to moon phase. Listen, the thing about, just keep this in mind, okay, for where we are on the daily. Okay, we're in a type 1 reaction on the daily. And the worst thing that could happen from here is a quick thrust to 37,200. By far, if that happened, let's say we saw a huge surge in Bitcoin to 37.2, I would be inclined to sell that up at 37.2 just because that would be clear reactive behavior. I would prefer to see that thing continue to grind higher, make your way above 31, 32, and do it for months. And then if you're really going to do something spectacular, grind, and then blast through 37.2 with conviction. But if we got to 37.2 and couldn't pull through, that would technically be the end of the type 1 reaction. Also, we have a dot. The dot definitely helps. I would not be saying that this is a logical place for it to continue if we didn't have high level of confirmation up here. And we're really failing this shark pattern at 26,580. So keep an eye on that. That's number 1 on the list. Number 2 is Ethereum. Sleepy Ethereum. Not much this different. High level HSI. 382 on the daily is up at 2,400 on, let's get the right chart here. There you go. Another crab pattern, 2401. We're still looking for that. And high level of HSI around 1,800. I've been saying that for 2 weeks. Plus minus $50, but now you have a yellow dot. And you're there. You're in that area where give this time, put up your 30 days, talk to me in about 2 or 3 more weeks, but we should be higher. And I think once we get above 1950 again, that should set it off. Number 3, Binance Coin, which is another one that is just kind of holding in, getting ready to ramp. Nothing's changed. 330, 340 on the top side, basically 310. Hey, call it. We can go as low as 295, I guess, because that's your target one here off of that shark. And 337 is the retest of the shark, but we're looking for that larger breakout. That's really just something, just set the alert on BNB. I mean, put your alert above 360 or something. Then once it clicks above 360, 365, then give it all the attention in the world. Until then, not so much. It's just you're biding time. Oh, number 4. What is it? XRP, I guess, doing nothing, 45 cents. Nothing's changed there. Nothing's changed there. And then number 5, I guess it's a couple of these Cardano like this. But again, Cardano's the one that I'm going to just simply wait on. Difficult, I know, because we fell so close to a perfect type 2 at 28.2. And I think 1 or 2 of the data feeds, maybe just 1. Most of them just came shy. If we had hit that 28.2 cents, I would have said, oh yeah, that's a type 2. But so far, you're just kind of vacillating up here between 30 and 40. I need to see either a full retest or maybe another pattern on the daily to the right of that. I'm beyond that. I'm just, we have to be patient. We have to line up. We got to, waste your days, literally not wasting, but, you have to put the time in. You got to put the time in. We got to line up the levels and wait for those to come together. You have to be ready to trade the market when the market's ready to be traded. Here's an example. Algorand. All right. Right down at 17.5 cents. This is one of a few that are hitting now, and we just started looking at this like 2 or 3 days ago for the dot, check back, confirmation, XA type 1 level, which there's a few of these that have done that. And there's a few that are still need a little bit of time. Here's Ethereum name server. 11.27 is your number. We're looking down there. That one, maybe not as good as Algo, but 11.27 is a minimum level. And you've got, back to back to back patterns. And there's a crab, 1, 2, all the way back down. Bat pattern bearish. So it's just back to back. The key is all in the profit target. Understanding this is not a moon situation. This is simple reaction situation, 20 to 30% upside off of that level. That's it. That's why we got to stay firm on it. Keep an eye on it. Evan saying that Coinbase action, XRP is coming back to Coinbase? I thought Americans couldn't touch that. Don't know. But there are a few others that are very close. And again, this is where we want to be really adding to your bags, if you will. Here's Gala, and that's for Justin explicitly. How long have we been talking about this, my man? Essentially since the retest at 4.8 cents, where we know it needs to come down for a type 2. Now we're almost there. 3.2, 3.26 cents, maybe as low as 2.8. But until I see a dot confirmation down in this area, I'm not, I'm waiting on it. Nothing to deal with it. And look at HSI coming down. Register. amplified in a better spot now, hitting oversold. So we can start looking. This is a starting point for Gala. Like I said, when that was almost at 5 cents, I said that's not the spot. The spot is on the retest. Keep an eye on that. Justin saying Vet's not on Coinbase or Kraken yet. It's on Binance. VE Chain, another one just coming back to retest his own. And a lot of these altcoins that are back at their big pattern levels, we got to take it to heart of this kind of a thing that, well, last time we were talking about it was down here in March, oversold, but just a reactive thrust. But you're looking from basically 2 to 250. That's a 20% move. At what point do you protect your profits? At what point? And we're down in here looking around 210, 220, and it goes to 265, but can't follow through. Again, each of these are just reactions. We're still in reaction phase. V chain looks like this on your weekly. It's a massive bat pattern. Down here, 2 cents. I think we were looking at this as low as like 180 a while back. But I'm fine with 2 cents. And if you're not in on this, this has been one of our ideas to look at for a while, and it's back down there. 2 cents. Where are we? I thought I had something else there. Now I'll come back to that. A couple of more. Let's talk about this render. This thing, really interesting crypto. And just acting in a way that is, I think, off the targets is Harmonic. You're printing patterns, Harmonic. And if we're back here, couple of nice moves, but we're back at the hop level at 231. And you've got a little divergence now where I'm looking for this to be 2 of 2 of 2 on render. Your dot up there, everything's around 225, 230 generally. And I'll continue to say that with back-to-back patterns. 2 of 2 of 2. I mean, there's multiple retests here. All of that, exactly the kind of back-to-back stuff where that would be it for me for now. And it's almost a 10x off the low, probably exactly 10x at the top. No, not quite. Maybe about 8x, but that's not bad. I know people, some people have been asking me about that one, mostly because it's running. I prefer to look at the ones that ran in January, and now they're coming back. Giving us the retest. Here's Fetch AI. Remember this? And I think this was, it's a daily or 4 hour. We were looking for this to retest for a while. Hold on. My fault. I thought we had a bat pattern down here. Oh yeah, it was like this. Here you go. Tough to see it, but check it out. Look, hop level almost perfectly. 7 cents was confirmation there. Your XA level, this is a tough one. All right, so look at the first confirmation right there. At 31 cents with confirmation, you had a bump up and a right back down. Slid all the way back down. The amazing thing is once this got off the floor, check what it did. I mean, it was almost a perfect type 1 to 62.2. And I bet if we look at, I hate to say this, again, depending on your feed, It just definitely, if it didn't hit on the pattern, it came real close, and I would look for this back down. I think 27 cents, 30 cents was where we've been saying this all along, and still no confirmation, but it's lower. What was the other one? There was another one, this AGIX, same deal. Another massive run up to the all-time 886. It's got to come back down. Give us another pattern. Where's, sorry. This is, yeah, okay. Looking at this, minimum back to 22 cents, 22.9 for AGIX. Again, these high flyers, they did their move from January to March, rolling back down. Now you come all the way back. Let's check out a couple of new ones, like Mana, Decentraland. And this is another example of some recent daily patterns, and I'm glad to see some new patterns materialize, not just trying to reach back to your weekly levels or, hey, longer term, this is bottoming at an all-time 886. But exactly where? With these kind of smaller patterns on the daily, I'm more inclined to be able to locate the entry better with this kind of a situation. Because there's the type 1. And now back down for type 2 on Decentraland. So it's somewhere around 51 cents. 51.8 has bumped a few times. But that's an ideal type 2. And a few of the ones I've featured before, like Doge and Gala and a couple others, are going to do this exact thing. Nice daily pattern that formed, basically think for this year. Okay, 2023, there's a crab pattern, there's a bullish crab, and it's a type 2 with confirmation. If I wanted to position myself off of a ideal retest of a pattern, that's it. That's it. So it's somewhere around that 51 cent mark, and I'm going to stay on it. A few more. The other one was Sandbox. Those both trade the same, but there you go. Sandbox is a shark. Again, almost same price, 51 cents. Keep an eye on that. I like them. I like them here. I like them on these retests. It's a heck of a lot better situation, if not the best situation and relative harmonic position that crypto could be in to do this retest down here. Do the retest. Finish that retest. 2 of 2. And what it does for you as well is it confirms the low from last year. You know, if that was the washout capitulation low, give me a nice pattern, confirm that pattern, and then start to build from that retest. Structurally, that makes the most sense. Is Rune the other one? Rune had some confirmation. Sorry, Rune escapes me. Oh, because you have this. Yeah, it's not really what I want to see. Let me move on from that. Quickly, let's look at total indices. Total 1, just like Bitcoin. And we've talked about this high level of HSI, checking back, stabilizing. I need to see just continue green candles. That's it. That's all you're concerned with. Continue to print green candles to the right, and do not take out this support at 1.11 trillion. That's all it is. Total 3, that's your altcoin index. So I'm watching this. Total crypto 3 is everything except for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it's a type 2 bearish bat. Now, I need to see something oversold down here, and it almost got there, but it's not ideal. So still on the fence with that one. I mean, theoretically, that should be a type 2, goes to 331 billion. And DeFi, same deal, but a couple of bearish patterns up there at 50 billion. But notice how we're generating another dot. And what does that mean? When you see like HSI and a dot, HSI and a dot, whatever that was, whatever that correction was, it was just a reaction. That's how to read it. That's it. Reaction down, can't follow through, stabilize for a few days, turn back up. That's what should be happening there in your total 3 or DeFi index. I do want to look really quick at the miners because some of these miners are taking off. Others, not so much, but here's Riot Blockchain. Again, HSI with a dot if today. So keep an eye on your miners like Riot, Mara, CleanSpark, Bit Digital. Potentially a dot today. Potentially. Has to close. Has to kind of finish strong even. The open was 1080. You need to be well above. I would like to see Riot close above 11 and go back and retest the deep crab. Here's Mara, although this one has been not as doing as well, but it's still, this is a deep crab. We talked about the pattern. We talked about the bearish patterns as a reaction over a week ago. I would say reaction over. And let's come back and retest XA level at 1250. Next few days, at least that's a positive sign where crypto should follow through. Couple of more. Oh, hey, William. Sure, I haven't looked at Tezos in a while. I'm pretty sure that had some big stuff down there. Wasn't that back at there's some, yeah, back at $1.98. Yeah, that's juicy. I like that. It is it's a deep crab or a butterfly, doesn't matter. It's an extension pattern down at 82. And your reaction's over. And now we can start looking at something like that. XA level is more like 89 cents. So I'm thinking like 90, 89 cents, maybe 10 cents lower. That would be the full type 2. And there's a few of those that have not hit. Your other one, Filecoin. That's a retest of this bat. I kind of like Filecoin because you're sitting in this long-term zone with not one, but 2 patterns. Look, deep crab all the way there. Hop is at 4.26, $4.26, which was the low. And then another bat pattern, 387, basically $4 is what that says. But you got a type 1 off the bat. You never got up to type 1 on the deep crab. Now come back, and XA level at 555 with confirmation has my attention. Now it has my attention. And listen, this is the pullback we've been talking about since March. Wanting to get these type 2s to line up. Bring them in. We want the retest. Why? Because when we look left here, 6 months or a year from now, and it completes the 2 of 2, we can say, yeah, that was the structural framework in action. And I always come back to the Bitcoin or even Ethereum. Where, get back here. Yeah, the long-term Bitcoin chart going back to the last cycle on the weekly. I said on the weekly. There you go. Coinbase. And for me, again, this is where I really started diving into crypto. Down here, 2018, with that bat pattern, we had that, and it did type 1, and then came back for the almost perfect type 2. But longer term, that 2 of 2 back-to-back patterns, that's the exact thing we're looking for on altcoins. On all of your altcoins, forget this right, okay? We just want to go a year from now, 6 months from now. When you do go into moon phase, you can say, oh yeah, okay, I had some patterns to the left of me and I was triggering off of oversold short-term readings. Let me show you the Ethereum chart. Same deal. Longer term. Where's Binance or Coinbase? There you go. Where's Binance? There it is. Binance was like that. We had patterns before. Okay, Ethereum was trading at the low 88 bucks. Your pattern came in at 179, but your confirmation was more like 120 or 100. Let that be a lesson for all of these altcoins that overshot and they're stabilizing, they're going sideways for a year or more. Well, we've seen that before. And you're looking at it on Ethereum, you had it on Bitcoin, and now this is the strategy going forward into next year. Okay, let's get through this year. Let's get through the summer. And I'm fine if you base and begin to move and then really do your thing later in the year. But that's the precedent. Couple of more that I think are some that haven't been quite official, but they are in a great spot. I don't think you can ignore them. Well, here is another one that we are looking at, which is ICP. This is one of our 3 ideas, just to share that with folks. And this is a, come on back. It's another retest of this bat pattern. Why? Because we had a type 1 test earlier back in February. That was a great move. Come all the way back down. 555 is the minimum level. Now we have HSI. I'm looking for a check back at 530, folks. Somewhere under 555. Maybe it's low as 530 or $5. But that's the kind of pattern retest where you've already did the reaction. Now come back, stabilize, and start to go. And that's a lot like, say, I kind of beat this one to death. And it really not spectacular at all, but Chili's. And Chili's has another HSI that looks like it wants to trigger 11.8. So far, so good. A couple more. What's the other one, William? Cactus Leo. Are you the Leo that I knew from Arizona? If you are, you know some people. Here's crypto. Crypto.com, right? Remember this one? Take a look. This has not been that spectacular, but I haven't looked at it in a while. And it's kind of flatlined at 6 cents. So not much there. That one's a little bit different. Where's your pattern, right? No pattern. Daily time frame? Nothing really that works out. Yeah, okay. Maybe crypto.com is this top level at 9 cents, but give me some yellow dots. Like our last yellow dot was at 5. I think we get another yellow dot at 6 on the retest. Couple more. APT, trying to look at some ones that I haven't looked at yet or in a while. That's another high flyer. APT. Yeah, coming back down. Look, let these come back down and around 960 on the 4-hour chart. I would look at that. I kind of like that. It's not fantastic, but you got a few levels, a few retracement patterns, basically 966 to 1050. 966 is probably your number. Keep an eye on that. I'm not jumping on that just yet because a little bit lower than I want to see. Your confirmation, you need to turn up, and you would have to hold that low. I'll tell you the one that I really am targeting, and I'm going to wait on it and wait on it and wait on it until it gets down to that $9 level, is this Cosmos. And that's, again, like the rest of them, would be the perfect Gartley. This is the Bitcoin chart from 2018. It comes back, it does the XA retest, and then it explodes and does whatever. I mean, Cosmos is one a lot of people talk about. If you wanted to see that thing moon, retest the $9 level just on principle and then go. QQQs are jumping now, folks. I like that. I think we're about to rebound pretty hard here. S&P's off 25, but we are about to jump. Did we get a midday dot? Hold on, I gotta come back over here. Let me check this out. Midday dot? No. Let's wrap up on crypto, because there are a number of these crypto that are setting up right now that I like. I mean, I like crypto. It's in a position for the first time in a while where it's looking good. You want these retests. Here's another one. This is starting to move. I kind of like this. I've said this for a while. It's this Jasmy. And ever since we had the retest at 5.4, I haven't moved. These arrows have been there for a long time. It's progressing, and this is exactly the kind of thing with all of these type 2s we want to see. Hit the XA level at a minimum. Give me a dot, stabilize, and start to go. I still say that's got 0.9, almost go to a penny on this move. It's just as slow as a snail. A couple more. Was it Kava? Or was it this Cadena? It was one of these. I knew it was a K. What's the K? KNC maybe? Another dot. And notice how a lot of these dots have triggered. That wasn't it. It escapes me at the moment. Oh, here, yeah, this ocean. So this ocean's another one. Mooned really hard. We have some amazing patterns down here on ocean, you know. Hop level, 13 cents, goes to 55, comes all the way back. I would still say let the deep crab at 25 cents come in. Oh, here's the other one. Yeah, I know. I did want to update Zcash. And Zcash has been something I've been talking about for a while. And now we have a dot, 34.8, almost hit. We got as low as what, 36 just in the last few days. And then last week we were as low as 34.92. That's really close for a retest on Zcash. So a lot of these, like Zcash and Compound and Monero, we know that they have big patterns. They have a lot of patterns like what we saw in Bitcoin back in 2000 whatever, 2018, 2020. Compound, let me get the right chart. There you go. That's a better chart. Compound is still all about the $30 level. There's a shark right at the low, a deep crab at 43. I would love to see that come back to 30 and kiss that shark and get going. It's another one where I might not grab this. It might not ever get down there to $30, but that's the plan, and we should still wait for those. Others are, other crypto are in a better position, and I would say go with those, but I'm waiting on that. And speaking of like crypto that's in a good position, here's Ethereum Classic, and this is even better on your weekly time frame. Where do we go? Where's the butterfly? 1 second. There's the butterfly. Perpetual contract. Okay, we're back under XA level at 19 on the weekly. So I'm starting to look at Ethereum Classic because now we have some daily levels that just popped up in the last several days, retesting that area. But I think if we get to 17 like that did, it's probably the better spot for Ethereum Classic, but I don't know how much longer this is going to stay down here. You hit that 1 and 2, and if this is a third time, potentially that could give you actually the third signal. So 1 and 2 and 3 HSI signals in a row that are successively higher. And that's a great long-term pattern. I just think these are going to take time before they moon. What we're looking for are reactions. I would look for, somewhere under 20, under 19 maybe. Yeah, definitely under 19 to go to 26.5. Hey, Masterson. Masterson Trust is asking, when multiple patterns are present on the same time frame, does the largest, most recent take precedent? That's a great way to say it, and I agree with that, yes. The larger the pattern, the stronger the level. Think of it that way. The more recent pattern, yeah, that's certainly helps you locate the immediate price action. But the bigger the pattern, so you go to these weekly time frames, that's why I'm paying attention to the weekly time frame so much. The daily can have its sell-offs, and the 4-hour can get oversold, but it's only going to go so far against these weekly zones. And we screwed around for weeks at 21, 22 without any follow-through, only to come back and retest that weekly zone. That's how we know. That's how we know. Yeah, I can look at BTBT, Ivan. I thought I looked at that a second ago. BTBT nothing changes on that. I didn't look at that. I guess I looked at Riot and Mara. BTBT, we've talked about this since $1, 75 cents even. And this is another. So thank you, Ivan, because I think this is a good segue for those ancillary vehicles that are related to crypto. This is a perfect type 2. I mean, there's your type 1, your 886 off of that BAT configuration, rocketed 4 to 20. And that was in a short period of time. But you come all the way back down, okay, hit the XA level at 4. This one went to 1. Okay, went to 80 cents. Your first confirmation didn't come in till 133, so that's how you knew it was a bit lower with HSI, everything. And the other part of it, I know I talked about this really beginning of the year with all crypto, is that the only problem last year, you were underneath the downtrend. As soon as you got to the right of the downtrend and started producing some oversold triggers like that, we made a move. And this is not, I know it's going to be crazy. Okay, target 1 is not our objective here. Target 2 is still the objective because it's a type 2. It's a type 2 that would take you to target 2 at 20 bucks. That's, I know it's ludicrous to say, almost blasphemous, but that's how we play it out. So we'll see. We're not surprised to see this thing take a long time, especially on a type 2, but so be it. The other one I wanted to mention, which is this clean spark, it's similar on the long-term chart. You tell me. Another all-time bat pattern. Now this is a type 1 because we never got to target 1. So I'd be looking at that. We can get above 572 and really get going. It's up to 18 and change. Amazing. Couple of more. Remember GBTC? Grayscale Bitcoin Trust? Massive patterns all over the place. Okay, all of that around $10, $12. This is another type 1 to 28.84, maybe as high as 32 and change. This is also a reason why I would think Bitcoin does go for the target 1 all the way up at 37,200. Okay, a couple more. I'll look at Polkadot. Another one we haven't looked at in a while. Not much there. Here you go. Couple of patterns, $5, folks. It's within $1. It's the software is kicking out a butterfly, crab, some kind of extension. Just focus under 5. Under 5 on that one. Last one. Waves. Yeah, Waves is another one that ran pretty hard. No, I'm confusing that with something else. Now, which one am I there is a W. I don't have much on that one. Waves is kind of like a non-event, if you will. Yeah, there's no pattern. And oh, I'm glad we did pull this up because look, that's what it looks like when you have no pattern. It looks like that. No pattern, not great confirmation, not a heck of a lot going on there. Crypto Clan. Okay, you got your last one on that. Avalanche. I know that's something around 17. Yep. Couple bearish patterns, but there you go. That's what we have. There's Avalanche. It's at 17 right now, 1697, but no confirmation. It's a beautiful bat pattern, but I would like to see this thing come down lower. At least give me something on a daily. And maybe you're at a type 1 off the bat where you return back to 20 like that. Let's see what happens there. Not one I really want to go off of. There are many others, especially if you break it down on the 4-hour time frame. Many others that have generated some nice patterns. Yeah, even this on a 4 hour. Your 4 hour pattern on AVAX is maybe down at 15. That's about it. The takeaways: be super patient, get your patterns lined up, let them come in and retest with confirmation. There's going to be plenty of opportunity. Like I said, been saying for a long time, this is the summer where you're going to want to position 2 of 2 patterns, whether they happen now or 3 months from now, at most by the fall. You're going to have 2 of 2 patterns, and those type 2 patterns are the ones you're going to want to launch off of when we get later in the year, when the Fed officially they fire up that printer again and they just go nuts, which they're about to do. They are about to do that. So let's go there. Let's jump back. We started today with this QQQ chart and it's working. 5-minute time frame. Remember this, type 2. There you go. Type 2 bat pattern. I think 317.74 in reach. That's what we started with today, and I would stick with it. This is exactly the kind of 5-minute setup I've been talking about over and over again. Look, I'm still looking for long opportunities on things like Meta and Microsoft as they want to push higher. But we need sell-offs on the 5-minute chart. We need some patterns like this. Take advantage of that and then look for the next bump. This one's running. Okay, we started out those 316s. They were trading 130, 125, something like that. They're now trading 190. But that's exactly the kind of setup. And if you were in the Discord this morning, this is what I traced out at about 9 o'clock this morning or 10 o'clock this morning. And it's coming into the full harmonic pattern framework on display. Really quick, let's look at a couple of banks. What the hell is going on there? Well, let's look at some big banks like PNC. Now, this is one a couple weeks ago I was hitting on an initial long position and then scratched out in the beginning of the month because of this. So I had at a hop level, couple of patterns down here at 123, 125 area, and it bumped once or twice, but that was it. And then we had some counter HSI signals where a week or so, a little more than a week ago, I was like, that's not good. Let's scale out of all the banks and Bank of America as well. Here's Bank of America. And I was saying, let this come back it's a type 2 on a butterfly. So there's the first reaction. I was talking about Bank of America last month down here, but we got to target 1 and rejected with a counter HSI. So now, Bank of America has got to get back to 26.47, maybe 25 and change before I would look for that to be a 2 of 2. And for me, that and PNC were the start of it. Now, I was looking at First Republic. I know that sounds crazy, but I want to outline that. Is that even, it's not even listed anymore? Where did it go? I guess they took that off. What was the other one? There was a few of those. Oh, Zion was another one. Had a nice pattern, and then it was just a quick bump, and we cleared out of it. Weekly down here. There you go. That was a weekly at around 27 bucks, and it was another one that we just cleared out. I think hop level at 15, easy on this. and we don't even have a dot. I think what happened after the initial test as we go sideways, we had no confirmation, and then a lot of these on the weekly were dominating. And remember, the larger the pattern, the longer the time frame, the more important the structure. So nothing to do, nothing to see here. Maybe down at 15, but it's why worth, why? Why even look at it until that thing completely falls apart? Yeah, private wins. FRC, yeah, it's $3. I was willing, listen, that Bank of America, that was a great type one, but that's it. And again, no matter what the story is, the type one down here, it was at 28 and change, was a good idea for then. I guess it was 20 as a butterfly. Oh, I know what it was. Okay, yeah, before that butterfly, it was a type 2 of this bat at 28.11. And then as it dropped into the zone, it gave you the butterfly. So not bad. I'm not, look, I think it's getting a little bit crazy. I think the narrative is just, I think it's a lot of crisis narrative, if you will. Turn off the TV. Let's look for 2 of 2 on these. Even PNC, which is a big bank, it shouldn't have a problem. Shouldn't, because the banking sector is secure, according to some people. PNC, sorry. Go on the weekly time frame. There's no doubt. It's, look, not crazy to say, hey, at some point these are going to be an opportunity, but not until hop at 113.56. That was hit today. All right, that's a better spot than before. But I would still need 2 more weeks because the checkback's happening now. You need 2 more weeks before that's even confirmed. Let's look at the biggest of them all, JP Morgan. That's had a few patterns recently, a couple of back-to-backs. Here's the daily. That was a weekly for a second. Shark up here, 143. It's probably still a sell. JP Morgan is probably still a short opportunity, and you had, look, before earnings. Sorry. In October, you had a bunch of levels at 105. Weekly time frame is like this, and this might be the ticket, really, where we're in a type 1 reaction on JPM from 107 to 140. Now we come back down, minimum, I think 120 on JP Morgan, so it's not over. It's not over at all. If we got to 140, 120, maybe 113 again, that would be the place to look for it. Right now, I mean, incredible. The high 2 days ago was 143.37. Target 143.06. So that's it for JPM. Do the full type 2. Come on down. That might be a put play. I think that could be a put play, even though you're, what are you? What's today? Today you're off $1.80. I'll look for that. Maybe check back on this yellow dot, 138, maybe 140. I think 138 is probably, look for that by next week. This bank thing is not over, despite what they tell you. And amazing how the narrative and the charts are almost opposite. Truly, practically opposite stories if you look at what they're saying versus what's setting up. Evan's saying for $5 a month, Robinhood gives you 1.5 million FDIC. That's as long as Robinhood stays in business. As long as they're not exposed to anything. It's not a bad idea there, but if you're going to keep 1.5 million in Robinhood, you might as well go put it in Bank of America or JP Morgan, because you know Biden and company will bail those guys out if needed, and you'll get your money back. It's a problem. It is a problem. That's why we see Bitcoin doing what it's doing. It's a great narrative to support what's happening. Speaking of narratives, S&P is now only off 12, folks. I think this is going to go back to even for the day. Check this out. Here's SPY starting to make a nice push. There you go. There's SPY. But the Qs are better because they have the pattern on the 5-minute. There you go. Now you're at target 2. That's a nice one. That's a nice trade. Nice setup for the day. 2 of 2. Bang. The 317s are now trading 2.25. How about that? Excuse me, the 316s. The 316s. Pushing higher. Look, we're in that kind of a market. Don't assume that everything's going to flush straight up or straight down. We're up hard a couple of days, down hard a couple of days. Net, you don't go far. You're not going very far, but there you go. There's the Qs in the daily. Back-to-back patterns of a couple of the bat from last August, another bat up here. But notice there's the 886 off the swing move there. At 323.47. No confirmation yet. What's the last signal is here. It's oversold. So is this checking back? Look, this is the other question I have for today. We had a bullish reading on HSI right there a couple days ago. And the low on that was 315.05. The low this morning, 315.12. We didn't get there. It would have been perfect had we got there exactly. We're not there yet. But boy, is this thing running now. Nice move. Nice move. But I don't expect that to change. And your chop levels, really, and that's all you're doing. Just take it off your last HSI and your last levels, where 315 support, 323 resistance, and that doesn't change. Still squeezing up into here. I would think that we could come back and retest 323 one more time, like a terminal bar retest up here. The net effect of what's going on is not a heck of a lot despite the narrative. So look at that on the Qs. The SPY, again, just squeezed in the zone of there we did have a check back. Okay, this is a big event. This is big for today and going into tomorrow. There's a high-level HSI right there. 406.74 is the low, and that's your immediate support. Now, you're only 406.09 at the moment. Chances for that to come back, even in this tight range, tight zone, very good. Very good. That should be about it for now, and push back up into the zone. 410. Maybe as high as 417. It's a lot to assume, but you're looking at it like this. You're checking back today. And you may sputter another day or two, but 2 more bullish candles, and you've got yourself a high-level bullish confirmation against a bearish zone. It's still early, but That's it. That's the level. I'm not looking for massive flush here. Maybe I'm wrong, but you've got signals that are setting up where at a minimum we could stabilize here for a few days. Consider this reaction over for now. We'll see how bad it gets the next day or two, but I don't, I'm still all right with a lot of this. Again, dial back your weekly levels. Okay, we need to do, if you want to see damage and you're really concerned, do a nasty 3-week close, which again, that's under 403, under 403.50. And you continue to just kind of back test, retest the prior week's ranges, the 3-bar range, and making it seem a lot worse than it really is. Yeah, keep an eye on all of that because it is so much noise at the moment. Really, it's just so much noise. You got to separate that. Like I said, this morning's QQQ. Had I left the TV on, I wouldn't even come close. I wouldn't have done anything with this morning. But it's like that. And there's your type 2. Right there, 317.74. A lot going on in this market, folks, and it's mostly noise. Really chop. Before I leave today, I do want to show you the rate situation. So we haven't looked at this, I think, last week. But remember all of the patterns and everything that we had last year into even this year, weekly, 2-year, was an all-time perfect 1618. And let me retrace this because this is important to understand. If you're worried about interest rates, don't be. Why? Because perfect 1618, right to the top at 4.75. And what that should be now is we're in the midst of a 382 pullback that gets you to 3.15. You're 375 at the moment. So rates are coming off. They're not going up. And I know a lot of people are worried about rates either going either way. People saying the market's going down if rates go down. People saying the market's going to go down if rates continue to go higher. What that shows us is that the rates have topped out. The rates have topped out, and the 10-year is the one. That's the chart. Remember this? Couple of patterns, all of that around 365. We're still, and I am still looking for that to come to 228 on the 10-year. That's how we know. And if you go to our sessions last summer and even in the fall, we were staring this right in the face and we were just saying, maybe if it goes higher, it could be a problem, but boy, that's overextended by definition. And that's what we have. So the rate story really needs to come down and come down a lot lower from where you are. Look, the big event will be a flash crash, if you will, in the rate structure. You'll take out 328, 320, and then you'll just go under 3%. And it's going to become an issue. Everyone's saying 5%. No, you're going to come back to these threes. Okay, the interest rates were totally mispriced. Completely mispriced. Hey, Infinite Paradox. That's a good question. What are my thoughts on Apple before we get out? Because they do have earnings today. Here's the deal on Apple. A lot like Microsoft. Massive progress on your weekly. We hit target 2 off of the bat, 127 up to 160. Now remember, we have a yellow dot this week, but that does not go into effect until the close and that of the week. And that's also dealing with this dot. It's not that dot. So Apple, I'm not ready to say that that's done. If anything, if earnings pop, then we could continue higher. But we've seen this in a few of these situations where simply wait for after. There's no need to participate before earnings on this. Okay, there's nothing here for us that we would look for. I mean, it's anything on a 4-hour chart? No. The last 4-hour pattern was a high level bat all the way down at 143. Even on a 5-minute chart, what do we got? Anything here? You have a shark pattern on the 5-minute. But I'm fine on waiting on Apple after earnings. It's kind of like Microsoft and a few others. Let it do its thing, and then we see. Earnings are, yeah, they're today, aren't they? Their earnings are today. Yeah. Okay, guys, you got me. The last one is gold. Why? Well, gold's up there. And gold is it going to break out now or later? Just got to go to longer term charts. You tell me. Big stuff up here. Big stuff. Several back-to-back patterns on gold. There's gold futures. Okay. $20.31, maybe as high as 2100. Okay, for now. I'm not chasing gold. We've been talking about gold really since 1780. Remember this pattern? Come on, remember these patterns down here? 1708, sorry. Bunch of patterns, 1700. Well, now the daily is back with a deep crab in your back-to-back patterns. I don't, look, gold is eventually going to bust, and it's going to bust hard. And my long-term objective on gold is 2,700. But we have a bunch of things right now that we're going to have to deal with. You saw the weekly. You got a bunch of stuff at 2089. Gold on the monthly. The monthly is a 1. Right exactly to target 1. Perfect. Back to 2 at 2041. I never want to be opening long positions at a bearish hop level. I would wait for any kind of a pullback, and that might take 3-6 months, but it's not there yet. I would think if you can register and roll over, again, look at the monthly close. One bearish candle is all you need. Probably you're not there yet. Look, HSI would need to come up, register on a monthly. Amplified, same deal. So yeah, maybe you could run to 2100 or something and then generate the bearish confirmation up here, 2100, 2130, something like that. But it is a type 2 off that deep crab. And I don't think gold's going to give it up right away. I mean, unless something crazy happens and you have a breakout explosion engulfing and you're closing above 2200, well, then the only thing there, and I still say this is your eventual case, this isn't the spot where I would try to jump it, but I just think you're going to run to a 1618 longer term, which gets you to 27, what's that, 2780. There you go. And then maybe like a 3A2 down and then go. But the reason why I say wait on gold is because if it does break out, this is a super cycle breakout. This is not just a nominal, hey, we're going to retest the prior highs and roll back over. Once you take out this high and that high and all of these, all right, I'd rather be jumping on gold after the breakout if it happens than here at the hop level. For me, that's 2 of 2. I'm thinking sell at 2041 or maybe 2100 as long as I get confirmation. The larger breakout will come. Just run the trend line off the low. This is a steadier way to consider gold. Gold's not anything you ever want to chase. You'll always get an opportunity. I think the next opportunity on gold is back at 1900. Let gold do this kind of a thing, and we'll come back to this and see. But I'm more from a pattern framework perspective. I'm more inclined to see something like this happen. Come back to target one at 1911, trigger something, and maybe that's this summer, and then go. Because that would be your reaction down and then your explosion. And you want to blow out that bearish pattern, but you're really brushing up against resistance. Evan saying he heard some crazy good predictions, 7,000 an ounce. Listen, I've been hearing gold bugs say 5,000 an ounce since 1992. And guys that, the old school bugs, gold bugs who would buy the metal, and one of my primary mentors, Bill Sowerby, he's not really a famous guy, although old school trader who used to trade on the Minneapolis exchange. He used to trade grains in the 50s when they were still using chalkboards, hand signals and chalkboards. Imagine that. But he always told me gold's going to 5,000. And, Bill's long since gone. But I remember him calling the bottom in the early 90s at basically $280, $300 an ounce. And he just bought a ton of gold mining stocks, a bunch of physical gold. Now you're at 2,000. And you'll probably get there. But for what we do, we want to position for the reaction. Let it come off of this nice move, beautiful move for gold. But then come back to 1900. And 1900 is, I'll take a hard look there. But I like it. I mean, that's progress. And it's progress on your long-term chart where you can't deny this uptrend. Can I go back to the 90s? Okay, let me show you this. Yeah, here it was. It was the mid 90s or late 90s. I met him in 92. That's when we started working together, or at least he started showing me his hand-drawn charts. I have to find some of those and post them. This is a guy that would make his own charts by hand, get the data every day, and plot it on graph paper. Yeah, this was gold 300 down there. And that was 1999. So, 25 years later, okay, a 10x. That's a good week in crypto, right? Let's see. Maybe next year for crypto for those 10x weeks. But gold, be patient with it. If we're gonna fail, there's another pattern. Here, look. It's going to be this kind of thing. There's a pattern off the low, bearish pattern, pause, and then fail. And that's what you're looking for structurally. I think the spot price is the way to play it. GLD is another decent one. Or just, accumulate physical gold. GLD looks like this. Monthly. Looks like it's, that's a beautiful chart. 195 is all-time new high on that one. The daily GLD, not the same as nice bat pattern down there. Not the same as the futures, but it's still way overextended. I'm just not chasing gold. Never chase gold. We'll get another opportunity when it comes back in. I think that's a good one. Hey, before we get out of here, let's give a gold membership away to the next person that puts in GOLD in there. GOLD, you get a membership to the gold, our gold section where you get the software and you get the Discord and you get all that good stuff. Go over to here, please. Go to harmonictrader.com and register now as a basic member, and then the gold member is here. Just like the gold members page. Who said that? Okay, Kim Lau. Kim Lau, you win. You're the first one that said gold. Derek, you'll probably sell gold at 2,600 and buy silver. Yes, silver's the one I accumulate. The silver bars are cheap. You get those kilo bars. Not that I keep them at my house or anything, anyone. I keep them in a safe at a bank. But the gold bars, I think I was buying those gold bars 2 years ago for like 800, and now they're like 1,000. But it's physical silver. I like it. Look, if you got a couple $1,000, buy a couple bars, just in case. You know what my friend Bill always told me? He thought gold would go to 5,000, and he always loved silver. And that was back when silver was trading like $4 or $5 an ounce. And he always said he thought silver would go to 100 an ounce. Interesting. We'll see. I don't know. The speculation of the precious metals, before there was Bitcoin and people hodling Bitcoin, it was hodling gold and silver. More like hoarding it. But a lot of those guys in the 90s, they were holding on to gold when it didn't do anything, and dot-com stocks and paper assets were the rage. But they were looking for long-term security. They didn't really care. But now where gold is, look, it'll break out if it's this summer or if it's this winter. Remember, gold is seasonally strong in December. I talked about that last year. And look, here's December. Go back to our sessions from December. Seasonally strong in December up until what I was saying till January is a typical move. And that's like every year. That's a seasonal move in gold. Put that in your hat or your pipe or wherever you want to put it. And whatever you want to do with it. But gold, I think, longer term, yeah, you've missed that move now. But you'll always get another chance. Always. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, no, I don't have any crypto hammer. I don't have any silver. I'm sorry I said that. I don't have any silver. All the silver I have is sitting in the bank. And it's not a lot, but it's a few bars. It's fun to have. I think it's pretty cool. It's probably a waste of I probably could have it in other things that are paying dividends that are better than silver, but a little piece of everything. All right, folks, that's what I have for today. Great session. Really enjoyed it. You guys have a great weekend. We'll come on back on Tuesday, see where we are. Line up your crypto. Don't be afraid of these markets just yet. Get ready on Bitcoin and Ethereum. But get ready on those altcoins too. The altcoins are going to come back. My guess is maybe they come back into June and then they set up for a June low. But a lot of them are very close. So we'll get back to that next week. I expect, a non-event this weekend on crypto. But don't be surprised if we push up to 30,000 nominally this weekend. We're still going to be range bound, but I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of this market. I'm not afraid of crypto. I'm actually kind of welcoming all of this action. You should too. Nice. You do that, recrawl, and you have yourself a great weekend. Until Tuesday, folks, go get them. We'll see you then.